Fresh off a bye week. It was great. Got to go to Dallas. Played some great golf courses. Dallas National, Trinity Forest. Didn't shoot too well, but it was great days out there on the golf course. Got to spend time with my family and my son. So it was all good. The bye week was just what it should be, man. And I'm happy to get back to work. Now we got to refocus, reestablish, and redefine what we're trying to do. And got a great opportunity. I'm going against a great quarterback, great team. I don't think records are clear indicators of, what type of team this is. They got Aaron Rodgers over there. The defense is still playing stout, and it's going to be a tough game. There are no easy games in the NFL, and we don't expect this one to be easy. Aaron Rodgers is, the definition of a Hall of Famer. They throw that tag around like this guy's going to be future Hall of Famer. This quarterback and the quarterback that we played, 2 weeks ago, those guys are, the definition of future Hall of Famers. And, it's an honor and a privilege to go against the best. And, it's going to be a tough one, but we're looking forward to it.
And what as a pass rusher makes Aaron Rodgers unique to you?
I think he has the toughest cadence. Probably, I know I might be stretching a little bit far right here, but I think he has the toughest cadence in NFL history when it comes to hard counts and getting guys to jump. For a guy like me that's always on edge and trying to get the best jump I possibly can, that's tough. And that's not even including, his mobility and him, being able to, throw rolling out to the right and him, falling back on the left and, stepping up in the pocket and, falling out to the right and fading out to the left. Like, he does everything well. That's why he's the highest paid player in our league. He's one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the league. I'm sure you can. It depends on who you're asking. If you ask me, I like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. That's my guy. I played with Peyton, but I'm sure it's a lot of guys that say, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest, quarterback to play in our league. And they'll throw, the other 12 in there too with Tom Brady. But those three, it just depends on who you're talking to, and they say these guys are the best, and I know those guys are the best. I played against all of them except Peyton. Played against Peyton in practice, but. These guys, those three guys, man, they are, they are Hall of Famers, and it's an honor and a privilege to go against the best, and we're gonna have to put our best foot forward to, come out with a Bills win on Sunday.
That sense, how much more dangerous is Aaron Rodgers when he comes out after the game and says, maybe this is the best thing that could happen to the Packers. People are counting us out, and we're going into Buffalo, as big-time underdogs.
I don't know, man. I really don't fall into that underdog stuff. Like, I know a couple of games ago, we had Kenny Pickett, and they talked about being underdogs. Everybody thinks we're underdogs, but we don't. I don't really fall into that, man. I just have so much respect for Aaron Rodgers in his game. Like, I really don't even read the media headlines or anything like that. I got a stinger, and it takes some honing to really get it sharp. And I don't really try to, look at all that stuff and take my focus, off of what I'm trying to do. So, I don't know. I haven't seen it, man. I'm just getting prepared for, the same Aaron Rodgers that I've played my whole entire career. He runs hard. He can slip and slide in from A gap to C gap. He has the speed to take up the distance. Have a whole lot of respect for Aaron Jones too. He's a great back in his league. Dylan's running the ball amazing as well too, and we gotta play the run well. If they running the ball on us and they got A-Rod too, it's not gonna look good for us. So, we gotta continue to play our game, continue to do what we do best, take it one play at a time, and I feel like we'll be all right if we can play our style of Bills football.
The trade deadline is next week. There's been a couple of significant moves.
They gonna trade me again?
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
No, man, they gonna trade me again.
I mean, your experience going through that last year as a player, I know it wasn't exactly at the deadline day, but close enough. What was that like as a player to go through something like that? As I think back on it, it was tough for me. Like I was 32 years old and I cried like real tears, and when I was in the training room because I didn't play the game before the Washington game, and when I was in the training room, that Monday, the head trainer Vince Garcia, he said, "Hey, George wants to talk to you," and I'm like, "Dang, like, what
why you don't come down here and talk to me? He's like, no, I don't want you upstairs. So instantly my heart dropped. I already knew what that meant. Like, this is my 11th year in the league. Like, I knew what that meant. And it just felt like I was walking to the principal's office. It felt like, I was in trouble. And it was just, every step was just so heavy and my heart was beating fast. And, and then you got to climb up these stairs to get up there to Peyton's office. And, I was out of breath. And, I go to his office. I sit down and he presses a little button, like Bruce Wayne, how he has like the button and it closes the door. And I'm just sitting there, and he said, hey, Von, how's the ankle doing? And I was like, the ankle's good. I think I should be ready to, play this coming week. He's like, yeah, that's good. That's great, man. Well, I just wanted to tell you that we are trading you. And right after he said we are trading you, he said to the Los Angeles Rams, but it just kind of like froze for me. He said like, we are trading you. Then I just had like a mental pause. I was like, bro, where am I going? Immediately he said the Los Angeles Rams, but I was just like, is this really happening? And everything just felt like, it didn't feel real at all because I had been there for so long and I didn't know anything else. Like I didn't, all of those guys from, the training staff, the flip and, all the guys the infrastructure of the Denver Broncos, that's all I ever knew. Like I wanted to be a part of the ups and I wanted to be a part of the downs and I wanted to be a part of the reason to get it right. So whenever I got traded, and he said the Los Angeles Rams, like, how am I going to the Los Angeles Rams? They got Matthew Stafford, they got Jalen Ramsey, they got Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd, and they got all of these guys. And he was like, well, we're going to pay most of your salary to get you over there. And just the week before, I had a meeting with George Payton, and we were talking about, because we had lost 4 games straight, and I knew that we didn't play the Raiders yet, and we didn't play the Chiefs yet. We still had to play those guys twice. And I was like, hey, if we're going to make it to the playoffs, we got to turn this ship around. So I just had this conversation with George Payton and the captains before. So he was telling me when he was breaking the news to me, like, hey, the Rams are ready to win right now, and they just need, a piece like you. You deserve to win. You're ready to go, and we want to, do right by you, which they did, because they could have just, shipped me away to, they could have shipped me to anywhere, and they put me in a position to win, ended up winning a championship out of that. I think, immediately after you get traded, you just automatically feel like it was my fault, like it was my fault. I didn't get the job done. I didn't uphold my end of the bargain to turn this team around and make enough game-defining plays for my teammates for us to win games. And I just think, the competitor in you, you just take that blame. Went home, Melvin Gordon came over. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to anybody. I said like some goodbyes, but it wasn't. I don't think it was. I don't think it did it justice for what they did for me in that organization. Like I came in as a rookie. I didn't have any kids. I was 22 years old, and then I have a son, and I'm 32. I had been there 10 years. Had seen guys come and go and come back again. And that's all I ever knew, and I only had like 30 minutes to say goodbye. I go home, Melvin Gordon comes to my house, and he just kept looking at me like, bro, like, is this for real? Like, I'm like, yeah, bro, it's for real. Like, I was sad. I was really sad. My house was, built around my teammates. Like, from my basement to the furniture that I had in there, I built it around my teammates because I liked having everybody over. So, that morning when I woke up, I thought it was just like a dream, like a nightmare. It wasn't. I told myself, like, I said my goodbyes mentally to my house. But when I hopped on that plane, like, I just had to just, suck it up. And I told myself, like, hey, I'm leaving, a Denver Bronco. But when I land, I'm a Los Angeles Ram. And I'm going to give all of my energy to the Los Angeles Rams. And I'm going to give all of my energy to my teammates. And I'm going here to win a championship. And I think once you do win a championship, it creates this addiction, because you know what it feels like. You've seen the best part of our league. You've seen the best part of our sport, and they were in a position to win. So I was like, man, when I land, I'm gonna give them the best version of Von that I possibly can do. It's good too because, I get to go to another spot, and I think over time with the Denver Broncos, I was just Von. I was just Von. These are all my little brothers. I saw all these guys get drafted. I've been around, these guys my whole entire career. Not even my career, but their whole entire career. Been around these coaches and the staff, and I just felt like, it just kind of lost some of its spark a little bit, and I was just Von over there. And then as soon as I landed with the Rams, you go in the locker room, they was like, Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP, and it just kind of like revitalized me. It kind of like refreshed me, especially being in LA, and the whole the glitz and glam that come with it. I remember back in Denver, I wasn't even dressing up for games anymore. I was just, put on my suit and put on a white tee and some jeans and just go to games. And then I go to LA and you see everybody like dressing up, you're putting on, the best outfits for the game. It brought me back. It brought me back and it refreshed me. And I'm positive that, anybody that gets traded, they'll feel the same way. Whenever you get traded from a tough situation to a team that's ready to win, and they're only missing you, because the team is only going to trade for you they're only going to trade for you if they have a specific purpose for you. And I really appreciated that too, man. And being around Aaron Donald and being around all these great players, and being around the infrastructure of the Los Angeles Rams with Sophie and Les Snead and Coach McVay. I went from Coach Fangio that ran one of the toughest ships that you could possibly run to Coach McVay. He's 2 years older than me, and really the only thing that really matters to him is winning games. I don't even think it really matters about being on time or staying, team meetings or coming to meetings on time or staying in the team hotel. He was all about winning, and I really appreciated that, being 32 years old, and this is my 11th and a half year in the league. So it revitalized me, and I'm sure to do the same for anybody that's traded, for sure.
If the Rams revitalized you, what has this experience done for you?
So I think bouncing around and being on 3 different teams within a year span, you just have a new perspective on what football is. Not going to the playoffs for 6 years straight. Like, I love football, but it just, the color just kind of, it fades a little bit. I still like putting on that shirt. It's still my favorite shirt. I still put on that football player shirt, but it just, it just kind of fades a little bit. It doesn't have, the spark that it does. And at the end of my second career, and then I got a son, and we're not doing too good. I don't want to say I lost, my stinger or the spark. The color just kind of faded for me. And, going to the Los Angeles Rams and winning the championship brought me back. And then you come here to the Buffalo Bills, to another team that's trying to do the same thing. Like, I'm still in that refresh, mindset. I don't like saying the O word, the OLD word. I don't like saying that. I feel like that's a mindset. And I feel like as soon as you get tired of this process, coming up here, going to the training room, being in the locker room with the guys, and being in that cycle, then it's a sharp downhill right after that. And I've been in the league 12 years, and I've seen it with my eyes. I've seen it happen to players, and I'm not gonna let that happen to me. It's been nights that I sat up and dreamed and prayed and hoped for success. Prayed to win a Super Bowl, prayed to come back from ACL surgery, prayed to have great games, and I'm not just gonna give away that gift. I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. And it's an honor and a privilege to be in an organization like this with teammates and Josh Allen and Coach McDermott and the Bills Mafia. Like, you can't help but be refreshed and ready to go each and every Sunday with this team. So, I'm still feeling refreshed, man, and I'm still ready to go.
When towards the ultimate goal, how important has it been for the Bills to win games like Baltimore, to win games like Kansas City, the way you guys close them out, and how important is that in that trajectory of winning teams that open first of the season?
You got to win, this. I really don't care how we win. We've won all different types of ways. We've been down, came back and won. We had a back and forth game with KC. We've blown guys out. Like, I don't really care how we do it. I don't really care if we win by 32 points or 1 point. The motto is don't blink. Stay in the fight until the very last minute. And I honestly feel like mindset separates good teams from other good teams. We played a lot of good teams, and I feel like we're so in tune with our mindset. We're so in tune with our purpose, and we have a firm grasp on our intention on how to get it done. And I think the struggles and the things that we've experienced as an organization throughout the years, I think it's kind of built this team the way it is. Like, even though we are really, really good, it's a lot of guys that still have a chip on their shoulder. Bills Mafia, they still have a chip on their shoulder. Josh Allen, as great as he's playing, like, he still has this this chip on his shoulder, and it's contagious, and you just want to go out there and take advantage of each and every moment. And especially me, 12 years in, like, I know anything can happen at any given time, like, and I look for the silver lining in everything. Like, whether it's the bus ride over to the game, or just being in the locker room with the guys, or just being in the training room with the guys, like, or wins or losses, I just try to look for the silver lining in everything, and really, appreciate this game, because it's a special place, and it's a special place to be a part of an organization like this, and to help this team win.
All good.
All right, cool.
Coming from somebody who's been through an ACL injury and has came off of it and returned back to the game and played at the level that he's played at and continue to play at, how important is it to help instill confidence in a person like Tre'Davious White, who's getting ready to come back but has been off the field for so long and needs the help probably of his teammates for confidence coming back? Whether
it's Tre'Davious White or Tommy Doyle, or Jamison Crowder, my message is the same to all of those guys. Like, all the greats that have played this game have had to overcome some type of adversity, some type of season-ending injury. They've had to come back and bounce back and reinvent themselves, from everybody, from Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, to everybody. And I feel like that's what makes our game great. Injuries suck. But I feel like, the type of mindset that you have to fight through that each and every day. You can't go faster than what they give you. You can't go slower than what they give you. It's just a time-tested thing. And I feel like that really makes you resilient. And it really changes your perspective on what it means to play this game at a high level. So if I'm sure everybody that walks in this locker room, they want to be the greatest to ever play, and you just gotta be able to push through those those moments and those seasons, and it's a mental piece of it. That's all it really is. It's a huge mental piece of it. Fighting back from injury, getting back on the field, and some guys are faster than others, some guys are slower than others, and you just gotta fight through it. And when you get on that field, you make that first play. It's nothing like it, for sure. I've been through two of them. I've had, 2 season-ending injuries. And this is what we do. Like, we don't do anything. Like, we're professionals here. Like, if we professionals doing something else, then we'd be doing that. Because it's not easy to, to play football. And I think, once you have a little break, especially after injury, like, you find your purpose back with your boys and your teammates and the guys that you spend your time with. I spend more time here with these guys than I do with my own family. And I think sitting at home, trying to recover, I think, you want to go back to the facility. You want to be back in the grind. You want to be back with your boys and the jokes and the laughs, and you want to be back in the fight. And it's great to have Micah back, because he's one of our captains, and you need his perspective on everything. He has so much knowledge, and, just his energy being in the locker room, it helps us. So whenever you get your captains back, whenever you get the guys around that are injured back in the locker room, like, you got to love on them, let them know that you appreciate them, let them know that you got them, because it's a struggle, coming up here every single day, and you see everybody working around good, going to practice, and I got to sit in the training room and recover. So it's tough, man, but, this is our life, and this is what we love, and it's good to have all those guys back in the locker room.
Okay, thanks, Mom.
Thank you.